We're trying to get our map overlay system set up here so you can see exactly where we are. Gonna have to recalibrate it. Just passing over the 4-level interchange, that's where the Hollywood and the 110 come together. You're looking at this driver traveling north on the 110 Harbor Freeway, make that the North Hollywood Freeway. 101 Freeway northbound. Speeds are relatively slow right now as a result. I think we can get up our map overlay system. Let me bring this up for you, take away some graphics here. We're hearing that it is an alleged stolen vehicle. So this creates an issue here. You can see right now the speed's about 24 miles per hour. Essentially, if it's a stolen vehicle, a lot of questions are being asked. Dispatchers, again, we always talk about dispatchers working behind the scenes, but how was this vehicle stolen? Questions officers want to know if it was just taken randomly or if it was taken during the commission of a crime or anything of that nature. It kind of gives an idea of who the driver might be and whether or not that driver could be potentially armed. We are continuing on the 101 freeway northbound side. Hearing about. Okay, so we understand. Okay, Alhambra PD just canceled the pursuit, indicating it is a male driver. Alhambra PD said, no, we're done. Not worth it for a stolen vehicle, erratic driving. You know, public safety is #1 concern. We got all hyped up when we see these pursuits, but they also want to make sure that the driver, as well as other people on the freeways here, are relatively safe. Alhambra PD decided to cancel the pursuit. We still have LAPD following this pursuit, requesting for the California Highway Patrol. So we're going to see if California Highway Patrol decides to pick up this pursuit. That would be the Southern Division here in downtown Los Angeles. Whether or not they decide to take it, only time will tell. We are monitoring Central Division. I'm listening to Central Division, and we have a CHP unit that's really close by. He's turning around. Okay, so I'm monitoring right now. They are saying that CHP may take over this pursuit. We are being told by law enforcement it is a male driver. Not too sure how many other occupants, whether there's anybody else in the vehicle. But you can see now that Alhambra PD canceled the pursuit. They terminated the pursuit due to safety reasons. Vehicle was just driving too fast, as well as because of there's a CHP right there. That's a CHP unit that was at Silver Lake. So now he's picking up that pursuit. Talk about precise timing. That dude's just getting on the freeway and the pursuit just coming up right by him. So it looks like CHP now going to be getting involved in this pursuit. We also have LAPD helicopter following this pursuit. Again, started out of Alhambra, an alleged stolen vehicle. News Chopper 4 Alpha, we heard this. We were at base at Whiteman Airport, and we heard a pursuit coming out of Alhambra into the LAPD jurisdiction, the Hollenbach Division. Hollenbach officers from the LAPD jurisdiction assisted Alhambra PD, got onto the freeway at Eastern Avenue by Cal State Los Angeles, traveled 10 westbound, made its way onto the 101 Hollywood Freeway, and we're coming into the Hollywood area now. Alhambra's backed out of the pursuit for safety reasons. Too much traffic. They didn't want to deal with it. They called it off, and now as CHP has the vehicle here, exiting right now, trying to get this off-ramp here. And where's that lawn? There he is. I thought he drove by. I think this might be Rampart or Silver Lake here. What off-ramp does that look like, Aldo? There we go. Melrose, coming up on Melrose. You can see how this, look how very close he's coming to that vehicle. Copy that. You can see now he's just exited Melrose Avenue, just making a left turn, going back underneath the freeway. CHP still close by. Sometimes they get right back on. We'll see what he does. And there he goes. He's getting right back on, going southbound right now. We'll see where that CHP guy is. So CHP is still there. Again, this is a pursuit originating. There's the LAPD helicopter. They've got their eyes on that driver down below. Want to remind you, if you're watching us on your mobile device right now, you can download our app to your smart TV, and you can watch this pursuit on, if you have Roku TV or Apple TV, download the NBC4 app Los Angeles, and you can watch this on a regular screen TV. If you're watching us on your mobile device, welcome. This is News Chopper 4 Alpha covering a live pursuit here, along with pilot Aldo Bentavena. We're over the Hollywood Freeway right now. CHP now pursuing this vehicle. This is a white van. Pursuit originated out of the Alhambra area. Looks like he may be exiting Vermont, or he's actually taking a collector lane here just by Vermont. But this pursuit originated out of Alhambra, an alleged stolen vehicle. We have confirmation a male driver failed to yield, was traveling fast through some of the surface streets in Alhambra and then through parts of the LAPD Hollenbeck area. Got onto the freeway, and this is kind of the erratic driving that we've seen. When this driver starts getting into heavy traffic, we start seeing some crazy maneuvers here, you know, swerving back and forth. Fortunately, so far, we haven't seen any accidents or anything of that nature right now, but we are watching as CHP is now primary. Here's the CHP unit right over there. CHP is primary right now. Trying to get this vehicle to pull over here, 101 freeway southbound through the Silver Lake area. What time is it? 9:53. I got it. Oops, where am I? Oh, there it is. I look down for 1 second, and that's what happens. News Chopper 4 Alpha, we are covering this pursuit here in downtown Los Angeles. LAPD was in pursuit. They were actually assisting Alhambra PD. Right now, California Highway Patrol taking over this pursuit. Hollywood Freeway, 101 southbound. What you need to know is this is coming up into the downtown area again, approaching the 4-level interchange. And you can see how this van just weaves in and out of vehicles here. As traffic gets a lot thicker, we start seeing the driver becoming a little more agitated with these types of maneuvers here, escalating the potential dangerous situation as we're cutting off vehicles, swerving across the freeway, in and out of traffic lanes right now. So far, we haven't heard or we haven't seen any accidents, but this pursuit continuing south on the Hollywood Freeway, about 38 miles per hour. Fortunately, we're not seeing dangerous excessive speeds. We're getting a little more information now, thank you, Rosa, from the California Highway Patrol that there may be 2 individuals in this vehicle. We already have confirmation that the driver is a male. There might be a female occupant in this vehicle as well. Pilots telling me now freeway is stopped up ahead. Last time we saw that, driver started making some erratic maneuvers here to try to get around this traffic, starting to pick up a little speed here. Coming up on the Hollywood Freeway, not too far from the 4-level, approaching Rampart, may think about exiting Alvarado right here, coming up on Alvarado, but you can see the erratic maneuver right there. That's a bus lane right there, if I'm not mistaken. So, pilots telling me the freeway may be shut down up ahead due to police activity, maybe separate activity. We're not sure if this is related. I can't look up yet. You can see when traffic really starts to bunch up, it escalates. The driver kind of just starts driving a little more erratically to get around vehicles here. Where are we? Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, we're in the Echo Park area. Looks like he may be exiting Glendale Avenue here. Okay, great. NLC, give me a mic, or give me an IFB check, please. IFB check. I just want to make sure because we're going to cut into programming. Hey guys, I need an IFB. If you're talking to me on the IFB, I hear you, so thank you. You got eyes on it, right, Aldo? Okay, I got IFB. Hello, guys. News Sharper for Alpha. We're with you guys. I see. Adrian, Roger. Thank you, Rosa. Great help. Thank you so much. We're in downtown. That's going to be a challenge. Get back on the freeway, dude. Hold on, guys. We're in downtown. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge here. We got to think about these buildings here, Aldo. A lot of times drivers will actually drive into downtown Los Angeles because of these buildings here, and they try to hide, considering that, fortunately this guy's not doing it, but considering that the airships have a difficult time keeping an eye on the vehicles that are being pursued with all the buildings in downtown Los Angeles. That could be one option that they do. Sometimes they, where'd he go? Aldo, get me around that building. Hold on, hold on. Okay, Rosa, I got it. Thank you so much, Rosa. Hold on, Aldo, I can't find him. Is that him? Okay, hold. Okay, guys, don't go yet. We don't have him. Where is he, Aldo? Don't go to me, Mia. Hold on, let me find him. Mia. We're in downtown, which is really difficult. There he is. Stand by, Mia. Just, God, get out of downtown. You guys, this is going to be challenging in downtown here, so just give us a second. We're having a hard time keeping up with him. Okay, Aldo, is that him? Okay, let's get out of downtown, dude. Okay, Mia, I think we're good. I think we're moving away from downtown. Are we moving away from downtown, Aldo? Is that Chinatown there? He's turning on Figueroa Street here, Mia. Just give us a second. This is, gotta see if he comes out. He's gonna probably pull into a structure. There he is. Okay, Mia, ready whenever you are. We'll do our best to keep up with it considering where he is. Yeah, Roger. Let me just get I don't know. Although, kind of get me closer if you can. They're going to us and I don't have him. I don't have him. Okay, we're making orbits. What would you like us to do? You got eyes on it? Yeah, Adrian, good morning. We're just turning off of Broadway onto Cesar Chavez in the Boyle Heights area. Wrong side of the road. Look at that vehicle. That's been the problem with this pursuit. The erratic driving at times on the wrong side of the road in order to try to get away from law enforcement officials right now. We're on Mission Road here. This is the Boyle Heights area, not too far from the LA County Coroner's Office to kind of give you an idea of whereabouts we are. This is what we know. This pursuit originated out of Alhambra, an alleged stolen vehicle. Alhambra PD initiated a traffic stop. Vehicle failed to yield, which resulted in the pursuit that started out of Alhambra. Went through city streets, not only through Alhambra, through Highland Park, and then areas of the LAPD Hollenbeck Division. LAPD officers got involved in the pursuit to assist. Went on the Hollywood Freeway. At times, we did see speeds reaching about 70 miles per hour. Alhambra PD finally canceled the pursuit due to the dangerous erratic driving. However, the LAPD helicopter was still monitoring this driver. Again, we understand there may be 2 occupants in this vehicle traveling on Mission Road right now, coming up on an intersection. The problem is this vehicle has been traveling very erratically, driving on the wrong side of the road at times, so they may be going into what they call a tracking mode. CHP, the primary right now, following this pursuit, but again, as we come up on an intersection here, Mission and Marengo, you can see what this driver is going to do. Yeah, absolutely. And because of that, right now, I'm just being told that they are going in a tracking mode. So the ground units have since backed away. And since this driver can no longer see any of the PD units in his rear view mirror, the idea of doing a tracking mode is to slow the driver down. And that pretty much worked right now. So perhaps the driver thinks that he got away. But the LAPD helicopter is still following this driver. Now, whether or not Alhambra wants to re-engage, that is the up to the watch commander, but the watch commander not too long ago made the decision, and possibly the ground units as well, as it was just too dangerous on the Hollywood freeway. Traffic was at a standstill. Driver was driving really erratically, and public safety always is #1 concern. They don't want to result in any accidents. Is it really worth it right now? So they felt it wasn't at that particular time, as he makes a right turn from Mission Road, not too far from County General Hospital. Considering we're going eastbound, we're headed back toward the area where the pursuit began in Alhambra, and I'm pretty confident right now they are monitoring this. They're seeing this on television, and whether or not they decide to re-engage, only time will tell. Yeah, they always want to go to an area most likely where they're familiar with. Otherwise, they can get caught on a dead-end street or a cul-de-sac. We've seen that many times. When they're not familiar with an area, they escalate. The intensity of their driving becomes a little more dangerous. The driver now traveling on Valley Boulevard. Last time we heard this driver on Valley Boulevard, Adrian, the vehicle was traveling on the wrong side of the road. So right now, it's working. Tracking mode, they've just pretty much done this so the vehicle will travel at a normal speed, won't put anybody else at risk on the street. But I can tell you there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes. We always talk about dispatchers. They are doing a lot of work behind the scenes right now. Most likely CHP is coordinating and contacting Alhambra PD right now, and they're talking to each other, coordinating, trying to get a little more information. This vehicle, an alleged stolen vehicle, well, what they're trying to find out is, how was this vehicle stolen? Was it taken in the commission of a crime? Was it just a regular stolen off the street when it was blocked? That is information law enforcement officers want to know, whether or not this driver could potentially be armed. So dispatchers are making sure they can get all that information. It's their #1 job to maintain a monotone. They want things to be calm for officers, but they also want to make sure those officers make it home safely each day. Well, what happens sometimes is when a vehicle is stolen, the owner of the vehicle may leave some type of device, a mobile phone or a computer or something, and we've heard many times that's how they are able to track a stolen vehicle. So that's how sometimes law enforcement officers are able to track it. Now, once the driver gets out of the vehicle and decides to run, well, it depends. If there's a helicopter above, they may be able to monitor that. We've seen footbail pursuits ending in a footbail. Suspect or the individual usually tries to run away and usually gets caught. There are situations where they can get away if they pull into a parking structure, because if I can't see him, law enforcement officers can't see the driver. So because of that, that's an option. But pretty much if this driver gets out of the vehicle, there's really no way to exactly find this person unless if they already have an identity on this this driver. And again, that goes back to those dispatchers doing a lot of work behind the scenes, running the vehicle, talking to the owner of the vehicle, and then finding out if they know this person who stole the vehicle. A lot of times it could be somebody who you know who took the vehicle without consent, so that's considered a stolen vehicle. So all that information is being gathered right now, sending to law enforcement officers. We don't have any officers behind this van, but you can see as we're coming up on Eastern Avenue, driver kind of slowing down here in the center divider, maybe checking out the scene to see if he's being followed. We picked up this pursuit here at about 9:30. That's when we heard about it. We launched out of Whiteman Airport heading to Alhambra. By that time, it made its way out of Alhambra through the Hollenbach division of LAPD. We are still on Eastern Avenue, and these are the streets that I was hearing as News Chopper for Alpha was heading to the scene. Eastern Avenue, Mission Street, Huntington Drive. So areas in this particular zone is where this driver was driving earlier. So a lot of times, Adrian, again, driving back to an area where the driver is familiar, possibly setting up to ditch the vehicle. You know, that could be one thing that we're doing here. We're on surface streets right now, not too far from Alhambra. We're not too far from Lincoln Park. I would say we're a little closer, trying to get my bearings here, but we're on some residential streets not too far from Alhambra. And here we go. Looks like he might be setting up to stop this vehicle. Sometimes they let the passenger out and then the driver continues. But we're on Pueblo Avenue, a little too close to that white pickup truck, but we've seen a lot of near misses. Fortunately, we have not heard about any accidents. But look at him, keeps running all these stop signs. Now, he's only going 41 miles per hour, but still, that's too fast running stop signs in a residential zone. You got eyes on it? Thank you, guys. Sorry. Can you kill the AC just for a second? Just let me get some Where are we? Where are we in Alhambra, you think? Okay, in Alhambra. Just trying. Fremont Avenue, not too far. North of the 10, and then what? East of Fremont, west of Fremont, right? Okay, okay. So we're okay. What's going on? What's going on by that tree? What's going on, buddy? Just talking to that driver. We're in Alhambra, guys. We're back in Alhambra, just FYI. Roger. Get these trees. Yeah. I'm seeing if he's letting the passenger out. There he is. There he is. Well, yeah, the driver just got out of the vehicle. We're being asked to keep our distance because LAPD is in a tracking mode, but you can see we're on Sheffield Avenue. Driver getting out of the car, kind of acting nonchalant here, just casually walking with some items in his or her hands. I mean, we know there was a male and female. You can see how the driver is putting things out there that could be potential evidence, so there's no doubt officers are going to retrieve those articles if this driver decides to get back in the car and drive away. We are on the 3100 block of Sheffield here, the border of Alhambra and LA, kind of the LAPD Hollenbeck area, but we're gonna get these right there. That's an off-duty. That's an undercover unit right there. Alhambra PD. There you go. So Alhambra PD just came back and said, "Okay, we're gonna try to get you." And you see what happens. The vehicle just started driving away erratically right now on a surface street going about 49 miles per hour. Pedestrians on the roadway making it a little more dangerous. Not sure if the watch commander is going to let them continue this pursuit, but now we're on westbound Allen Street here, running those stop signs, which is creating a dangerous situation now with the pursuit. And you see the challenges law enforcement officers have. The moment they came up to that driver at a particular moment where they felt they could apprehend that driver safely, the driver got back into this vehicle and took off rather quickly right now. So we are back in tracking mode, not still sure if Alhambra PD is going to be following this vehicle closely. Yeah, perhaps trying to get an idea, scoping the scene, whether or not there's any ground units close by. No doubt the helicopter's still above, and whatever that person put down, law enforcement officers are definitely retrieving it, if not already. Could be potential evidence, could be trash. It could have just been a decoy for this driver to get out to kind of see what the scene was like. We're traveling pretty fast right now, 45 miles per hour on Templeton Street, considering this is a surface street residential area, really escalating the dangerous situation, and that's why you don't see officers close by. You may wonder, why are they not doing a pit maneuver? We haven't had any we haven't heard of any word yet of whether or not they would use a pit maneuver or trying to use some spikes. The problem with laying down spike strips is you kind of have to have an idea of where this car is going, and it's been a challenge for that vehicle as he passes the street sweeper on the wrong side of the road. Still a dangerous pursuit here in the Los Angeles, just west of Alhambra. I'll take the AC now. Yeah, I mean, if I can't see the vehicle, it's pretty much the same thing for law enforcement officers. And, you know, there's always a tree in the way, but that's Eastern Avenue coming up on Huntington Drive. I believe that he is going to go beyond that right now. There he is. He just made a turn here. That's Huntington Drive. So he's going eastbound on Huntington Drive. We're going to try to get a little closer here so we can get around these buildings here. Our news chopper pilot, Aldo Bentavena, is doing a great job keeping us right on top of this. Last time, Adrian, when I heard this vehicle traveling on Huntington Drive, the driver was actually driving on the wrong side of the road. So if you're familiar with this area, we are headed back toward Alhambra in the South Pasadena area. So no doubt officers from both jurisdictions may be made aware. Most likely Alhambra is already aware of this pursuit. They're monitoring it. But South Pasadena, we have the potential of going into South Pasadena. So that city may be made notified that there is a pursuit possibly coming into the area. We are on Huntington Drive, still traveling eastbound about 45 miles per hour. Right there, you can see the driver ran that red light. So we're still seeing some of that erratic, unsafe driving, which is reason why we don't see any law enforcement officers right behind that vehicle. Public safety is always number one concern. Watch commander said it's just not worth it. It's a stolen vehicle. Right now, we'll just follow it through via the helicopter, and if there's a potentially safe moment where we can apprehend the driver, we will do so. You saw that earlier. They tried to do that, but the driver took off. There's LAPD right there, staying out of it, but they know it's coming into this area. Coming down an alley right now. Coming down an alley here. Yeah, go ahead, Adrian. That was an LAPD vehicle, if I'm not mistaken. I thought that was a LAPD. Just because they're not in it doesn't mean they're not monitoring the pursuit. We're coming back out onto Huntington Drive. We're not too far from Eastern Avenue. Now, Eastern Avenue is behind the driver, so we're traveling eastbound again, back toward Alhambra, not too far from where we saw that LAPD vehicle. It should be right here on the right-hand side. There he is at the gas station. Well, let's just go in a circle. We've been down this street before on Shelley Street, passing the alley right now. A lot of times they want to just taunt the LAPD or taunt the law enforcement officers, not pulling over, just doing round robins. The driver must be familiar with this area, considering the pursuit originated not too far from this area, going in and out of alleyways and so forth. So the driver most likely is familiar with the streets, not running into any dead ends, at least as of yet. Yeah, and really in a situation like this, we're just kind of like buying time. That's really what the driver's doing. It's just buying time until this is over, coming back onto, I believe that is Huntington Drive again, yeah. So at least the driver is stopping for the light. I don't know if he has if he can turn left. I don't think he could turn left there. He's just kind of waiting and making that right turn there. Fortunately, and another thing we also look at is their body language. Person seems to be pretty calm right now, not too agitated. Sometimes we can see the driver agitated. Body language tells a lot, pounding at the steering wheel and so forth. And right now he's just kind of nonchalant, just driving in and out of the streets here through the, I want to say Highland Park area, coming back into LAPD jurisdiction. But now we're going westbound on Huntington Drive, heading back toward Eastern Avenue. And again, we're still in tracking mode of this white van, an alleged stolen vehicle, pursuit originating out of Alhambra. I've only seen the one driver in this van. So we're traveling on Huntington Drive through the El Sereno area. So we're coming in the El Sereno area, just passing Van Horn. Now, we did see that driver get out earlier, dropped off some items onto a residential street on somebody's front lawn. Again, a lot of questions. This is an alleged stolen vehicle. Do we know who the driver is? Was this vehicle taken just at a random car burglary, or was this stolen in the commission of a crime, or does the owner know the person and took the car without the owner's consent? So these are all valid questions that dispatchers are getting that information and relaying it to law enforcement. Just because we don't hear it right now doesn't mean law enforcement officials may not already know who this driver is. Earlier you were asking, will they be able to find this driver if he or she gets out of the car and walks away? It all depends. Fortunately, look right there, lady with the red umbrella. The driver is stopping, so that is the reason right there. That is why they put it in a tracking mode. So fortunately, right now, the driver is abiding by the law and waiting for those pedestrians. You know, I haven't heard about that. I did hear about some dangerous, erratic driving, but fortunately, I did not hear about any accidents or anything of that nature. Could be previous damage to that vehicle, but the driver continuing now on Huntington Drive. I'm hearing that actually maybe a female driver, so I'm hearing some chit-chat here from law enforcement officers, but they still have their eyes on this driver as we continue through the El Sereno area, traveling westbound on Huntington Drive. Fortunately, you can see we have decent speeds, traveling at the speed limit, stopping for those red lights, especially more vital when we have pedestrians crossing the street. Yeah, and it also kind of makes you wonder whether the driver could be under the influence of some type of substance. Again, those are valid questions. We're getting a little more information from our news desk. They're doing a great job back over there. Rosa, thank you for that information. Right now, we are getting confirmation from Alhambra PD that this vehicle ran a red light in Alhambra near the intersection of Fremont and Main Street. So that initiated the probable cause to pull that vehicle over. The officers initiated a traffic stop. Vehicle failed to yield. Here we go. Looks like we're still going. And once they ran the plate, it came back stolen, so it really gave them even more reason to stick with it. So that's the reason. The initial cause was the vehicle ran a red light. They tried to pull the vehicle over. Plates came back stolen, and the pursuit's been going on for about 45, maybe 50 minutes right now, Adrian. We're coming back still into the El Sereno area on Eastern Avenue. Yeah, they always seem to find streets where there's a lot of trees, and that's what this driver is doing right now, whether it is on a purpose or just coincidental. If we are having a challenge to see this driver, it's pretty much the same story for law enforcement officers. The helicopter, LAPD helicopter, doing a great job. They are still following this. Let me pull out and kind of give you an idea of whereabouts we are. There's an intersection of Eastern Avenue and Gambier. So we're coming up on that intersection, clearly a residential area, Eastern Avenue. If I'm thinking, although we're going on the southeast direction, maybe we're headed towards the 10 freeway. He's shaking his head yes. So that's an idea of where we're headed, toward the 10 freeway. And, you know, Adrian, when we picked up this pursuit, it just got onto the 10 freeway from Eastern Avenue. So the driver has clearly been on this road before. Fortunately, we're seeing, slower speeds and not such erratic driving. A little bit of gesture right now up to the helicopter. So this driver is aware that he or she is being followed. You know, that's a challenging question to answer because you saw what just happened earlier. The driver got out of the vehicle, and that was actually the perfect opportunity to apprehend the driver. And once that Alhambra PD unit pulled up on scene, it was an unmarked unit. The driver got back in and took off really fast and kind of escalated the situation. You know, they want to de-escalate that situation. That's why they put it into tracking mode. But when they found a possible perfect timing in order to bring this driver into custody, the driver got back into the car. Look at that. Is that a pedestrian? Oh, my goodness. Now that car is probably a little upset and maybe coming after him, not realizing that this vehicle is involved in a pursuit, and I think that's what we're going to see right now. He swerved around this car, this black vehicle, a little bit of road rage action going on right now. He's pulling up next to this van, maybe wondering, why did you just not stop? We're going to see what happens, but I don't think this driver is aware that this vehicle is wanted right now for evading law enforcement officers. Yeah, he's probably going to make, that driver's going to make his or her presence known. Driving right next to him, no doubt words are probably being exchanged, some gestures and so forth. But not a good idea. I mean, we're witnessing this right now. Again, this driver's not aware that every news chopper and LAPD helicopter is following this driver, so we are monitoring not only that driver, but the vehicle, the black vehicle, that driver's behavior and actions right now. We are continuing on Valley Boulevard, so we're going towards County General Hospital. So we're headed back to the Boyle Heights area. We're seeing regular speeds, 42 miles per hour, at times causing close accidents. Fortunately, we haven't seen one, but he definitely is, he or she, upsetting some other drivers on the road. Yeah, just passing Lincoln Park right now, just passing the Lincoln Park area. We are officially back in the LAPD jurisdiction. Coming up in this area here, got a tree in the way. Let's see what the driver decides to do. Just ran that red light from Valley Boulevard, now turning back onto Mission Road. So we actually had an NBC crew over there at Lincoln Park, and that van just drove right by the NBC4 van, waiting at the red light now at the intersection right there off of Mission Road. So again, we're back in Boyle Heights. Earlier when we were talking about this pursuit, we were near the LA County Coroner's Office. Well, that's where we are again, in that vicinity. This driver has the 5 freeway off to the right side of that van, so that's kind of the approximate area where we are. Vehicle is stopped at a red light right now. What you don't see are any law enforcement officers, although we still have the LAPD helicopter flying above, calling out the location. And Adrian, we haven't heard of a plan right now. I mean, are they going to continue following this vehicle until the driver gets out again? Are they just going to cancel this pursuit? But right now they seem to be sticking with it. We're just not hearing whether or not they're going to re-engage with this driver. No phone, just kind of like, just brushing your hand through your hair. You also want to consider the mental mind of this driver. When the person got out, questions you do ask, and law enforcement officers are very curious: is this person inebriated? Is this person under the influence of any type of substance or something of that nature, which could be contributing to this irrational behavior? This isn't rational behavior, running away from law enforcement officers. Could there be some type of mental illness that is related to this? Now, you think we're just bringing up these questions, but these are valid questions law enforcement officers want to know. They want to try to figure out, so they have an idea of who this driver is and maybe what type of precautions or resources they can bring to this person who may need that when the time comes. You can see right now pulling up to this person on the street. Whether or not they know that person or not, but these are things that create more of a potential problem for officers who are following this vehicle. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking at. Looks like the driver has an LA Dodgers hat on, worn backwards, and that's the description. We're calling it as it is. If this driver decides to run, that's part of the description that the LAPD officers will be made make aware to ground units. Just crossing over the 5 Golden State Freeway. We're still on Mission Street right now, continuing westbound, headed toward downtown Los Angeles. Now the driver's not driving erratically, so that's good news. But it's just kind of getting. Well, there's an officer right there passing over there. You can see that officer. I don't know if that law enforcement officer is going to turn around, but this driver continuing along surface streets here on Mission Road. Now, if we come into downtown Los Angeles, that's going to be a little tricky situation. Downtown's still a few miles to the west of here, but it makes it very tricky in order to be able to follow the vehicle because of all the buildings. Sometimes drivers are able to do that and actually get away from the police helicopter. We don't think this driver's doing anything of that nature right now. This person's just kind of driving nonchalant, really not aware of what's going on anymore. But the driver is aware once law enforcement officers get too close, that's when we start seeing the situation escalate, drives a little faster, then officers just back away again. But we still have the helicopter above keeping an eye. Yeah, and I've been noticing that as well, interacting with people on the streets. And again, you have to question the mental stability of this person. We're not speculating anything, but these are questions and answers that law enforcement officers do want to know, because if this person is suffering with some type of mental illness, they want to make sure that they can get the right resources available and maybe handle the situation a little differently, a little more delicately, if the pursuit comes to a standoff or something of that nature. So that's why body language and a person's behavior during the pursuit really says a lot about their mental condition and about whether or not they're agitated in a situation like this. And Michael, person is just kind of free flow right now, really nonchalant, saying hi to people along the road, waving, and really not showing anything right now that would alert officers that this person appears to be too violent or anything of that nature. So hopefully this person will decide to pull over or even run out of gas and bring this pursuit to an end. Got it. I think what they most likely would do is, if a ground unit can get to where those people were who they interacted with, they will say, what did the driver say? Do you know this person? And they'll just kind of get some information from that nature. I don't think they would detain those individuals. They could just be out on the street here. My pilot's telling me law enforcement officers right over there. You can see there's LAPD up over there. We're near the train tracks here off of Myers Road. This is an industrial area off of Myers Road. So law enforcement officers are here. Driver going into an industrial area, turning around, going back to that LAPD unit right now. Whether the driver is getting ready to exit the vehicle and run along the tracks, we've seen that before, or driving back toward that LAPD officer, not so much taunting the officers, just kind of like not giving up and just continuing this pursuit. Yes, definitely. This is the new area here, industrial area. Drivers just kind of driving around, looking for something here, checking out the scene. And again, you may be at home saying, well, why don't they pin this driver in right now? Why don't they end this? Why don't they? This is a perfect opportunity. They tried to do that before in Alhambra, and then the driver took off and was traveling at excessive speeds, which prompted officers to back off again. So now we're on North Myers Street. This is an industrial area. We're just a little southeast of downtown Los Angeles. We are west of the Boyle Heights area off the Golden State Freeway. Fortunately, this does not appear to be a residential area, more of an industrial area. We still have some pedestrians and vehicle traffic out there, but as you can see, 14 miles per hour, really not being too dangerous, although with that type of a U-turn, that's still probably not too much of a issue there, making a U-turn of that nature. That's right. And again, when we were in the El Sereno area. This driver almost collided with a black vehicle in the middle of the intersection, and a little bit of a potential road rage situation where that driver in the black vehicle started chasing the white van that's being followed by LAPD and other units. So again, because there's no police units right behind this vehicle, it's really hard to tell that this vehicle is wanted, an alleged stolen vehicle. And a reminder, if you're just tuning in, this pursuit started well over an hour ago in the city of Alhambra. Vehicle ran a red light near Fremont and Main Street. Alhambra PD tried to pull the vehicle over. That was their probable cause, and when they ran the plates, came back stolen. And ever since then, we've been going back and forth, left and right, U-turn, circles, with this van just driving really slow right now. We're coming on Lamar, I think that's Lamar Street here near Mission Road, not too far from the county coroner's office. And I keep saying that because that's the kind of approximate area of where we are here in Boyle Heights. Can you get me a little closer to the side of that driver, please? Yeah, and that's why they put it in that tracking mode. You know, a lot of times people are watching the pursuits and you want to see the danger at high speeds, but it's, you know, it's very dangerous. This is real. Public safety is #1 concern, and that is why law enforcement officers have that duty to cancel a pursuit if public safety is jeopardized. That is their #1 concern, to make sure that not only this driver gets apprehended safely without incident, but as well as with all these people on the road right now. They don't want to see a crazy pursuit, erratic driving. If it's just a stolen vehicle, that's one thing. They can come back later and deal with it. But continuing that pursuit the way we saw it earlier, the watch commander from Alhambra PD made a very good call. They've canceled the pursuit. I don't want to say they canceled it. They put it in more of a tracking mode. And ever since they've done so, we see safer speeds. Now, yes, we are following this driver driving just regular here along the streets through Alhambra, Boyle Heights, downtown Los Angeles. But the time will come when there will be a safe time to apprehend this person and put this person into custody. Exactly, and that's what they want to do. They want to minimize the potential of anything happening, again, running a red light. So, you know, if the driver's running red lights right now, the driver's doing it in a more safe manner. Not that it's safe to run a red light, but driving through it about 10 miles an hour is a lot safer than 60 miles per hour. And we saw that earlier, so that's why they put it in this tracking mode. We're continuing here on Mission Road here, eastbound Mission Road. Michael, we've been here before. We got the NBC4 van not too far from this area, so we're headed back toward the El Sereno area as we continue on Mission Road, coming up on Griffin Avenue. Aldo, I don't know what you said. Could we get? Oh, okay. Okay, thank you, thank you. Yeah, the vehicle is not traveling too fast right now. We're on Valley Boulevard right now, continuing eastbound on Valley Boulevard through the Lincoln Park area, headed back toward CalStat LA, toward that direction. A couple of times we'll see some erratic maneuvers, kind of a close call, but really not too dangerous. And the reason why these close calls are not dangerous is because the vehicle is traveling rather slowly right now. That's right over there by Lincoln Park here, near one of the COVID testing centers. So that's where we're passing right now. So when the vehicle makes some erratic maneuvers here at such slow speeds, it minimizes the danger. And again, that's what we're emphasizing. That's why they put it in this tracking mode right now. They want this vehicle to travel slow. Time right now is on law enforcement side. The vehicle could possibly run out of gas, or the driver could just simply give up. We hope that will be the situation. If they decide to do a spike strip or anything of that nature, that can escalate the situation. So right now they're just monitoring from above, letting the driver do what he or she needs to do in this situation here, and hopefully they'll make the right decision in a short time and decide to pull over and let law enforcement officers handle it from there. You know, that's up to the watch commander right now. And again, there's a lot of information that's going on, a lot of stuff rather, going on behind the scenes. We talk about those dispatchers. They are running a lot of information, if not already. They may have an identity of the driver. An alleged stolen vehicle, well, what does that mean? How was this vehicle stolen? Was it taken during the commission of a crime? Was the vehicle just not returned and the owner of the vehicle knows who the person is? Or was this simple, an opportunity existed where this driver saw this car and took it? And those are questions that, number one, why law enforcement officers need to know is because it kind of gives them an idea of who they are dealing with. So if the driver, if the owner of this vehicle knows the driver, they can relay all that potential information to dispatchers, who then run the information about who this person is, try to get an idea of who they're dealing with and pass it along to officers. So all that right now is still unknown. Whether or not officers have an idea of who this driver is still yet to be determined, but we can tell you vehicle now traveling still on Alhambra Avenue now, traveling on Alhambra Avenue, speeds only about 36 miles per hour, not too dangerous, and we're just kind of waiting. Now, we don't see any ground units, but I'm still listening to the LAPD helicopter. They're calling out the street information, both to LAPD officers as well as Alhambra PD. Even though they're not directly behind this vehicle, no doubt they are still monitoring. Yeah, I'm trying to get to you an idea of what this driver is doing, just kind of shouting out to people here. But the driver appears to be happy, Michael. I mean, I've covered many pursuits. You can kind of tell through their body language if they're agitated, if they're angry. I don't get that from this driver. Just kind of like waving to people and just in a joyful mood, and it kind of gives you the question to make that assumption: is this person under the influence of some type of substance? The only reason why we say that is because maybe it'll change how officers will handle the situation, as well as with potential mental illness. Again, we say that because these are all factors that really determine how officers may handle the situation when this pursuit comes to an ending, and hopefully it'll come to a safe ending here soon. Here we go, Aldo. Yeah, and I want to say we're still kind of in El Sereno area, not too far from Alhambra Avenue. So Alhambra Avenue here, kind of pull out here to give you an idea of where exactly we are. We're still on residential area, right off of Alhambra Avenue. I'm just trying to look out the window. We're north of the 10 freeway, and we're just on the border of Alhambra here. just north of Cal State LA, my pilot's telling me here. So that's where we're going. We're going in circles. I feel we're definitely going in circles. We've been around this showboat here a few times, going around surface streets, through an alley not too far. We've been circling through the El Sereno area, even made our way back into Alhambra at one point, where Alhambra PD came up in an unmarked unit and tried to apprehend the driver. Unfortunately, that driver was able to get back into the vehicle and drive away and sped away in such a manner that officers said, nope, we're just going to keep it in the tracking mode. So really what it is, it's a game of cat and mouse. They're waiting for the perfect opportunity, and once they find that opportunity, if that driver gets out of the vehicle, they may try that again to safely apprehend this person. Yeah, absolutely. And again, covering many pursuits here, one thing that we always notice and we keep an eye on is the mannerism, the body language. It can kind of tell what type of agitated mood, perhaps, or what type of mood the driver is in who is being pursued by law enforcement officers. And just a speculation of based on what we're seeing kind of determines that this person doesn't seem to be agitated. There have been times we have covered pursuits. You could see the driver just clearly upset, pounding on the steering wheel, pounding on the dashboard, and so forth, and it gives you an idea that the person is upset or something of that nature. This person, on the other hand, we're not seeing that, waving to people, stopping and talking to people, so that's a good thing, because we're not seeing those dangerous speeds that puts the public at risk as we're now continuing on Eastern Avenue. We've been on this street before, so we're not too far again. We're kind of in the Monterey, I want to say south of the Monterey Hills area, but we're not too far from Alhambra. And as we continue on Eastern Avenue, we're just going slow, about 30 miles per hour here. Most likely, I want to say, obeying most of the traffic laws. You can see the person sometimes going through the center divider and the center median here, but without the excessive speeds, it minimizes the danger. Can you get me on the other side? I'm going to lose him. Oh, here he is. Turning around. You know, I just noticed that. I just kind of noticed that, Michael, because that vehicle made a turnaround. Yeah, and you kind of see these people here waving. I'm not too sure. I mean, did this driver come too close to these vehicles as well? I have been seeing a motorcycle throughout this pursuit. I don't know if that's the same one, but now we have our attention on these vehicles here. So we've got this white vehicle, seems to be traveling kind of rather quickly, wanting to catch up to this white van. Wouldn't be the first time. We saw this before with another vehicle. It's going to come right underneath us, so we're going to maneuver this helicopter here. But for the most part, we're still on Eastern Avenue, heading southbound, not too far from the 10 freeway. What's wrong? Okay, don't go too much faster because we're going away from it. I'm shooting 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. There it is. You got it? Wow. You know what? Fist bumping I mean, this is like the first of. You know, we see a lot of this. You know, Michael, they're just getting their street credit. Let's be real. This is what happens in a situation like this. We're televising this. People are seeing it. When they and that guy got out of a vehicle here, so we are starting to see people follow this this driver. That creates a challenge for law enforcement officers now. You can see the same vehicles are following. It's like an entourage. This white van has its own entourage. Look at all these people just following this white van. That's going to create a little situation for law enforcement officers. You don't know the agitated state of that person, what that person is in, whether or not they have a weapon or anything of that nature. Now, the driver's not displaying any type of agitated behavior, but you know, it's just one of those situations where any rational person probably would not run up to a vehicle that's being pursued by law enforcement officers. Maybe, I don't know, I'm just thinking different, but you just don't know who you're dealing with. We are getting a little more information from our desk that originally was reported as a male driver, then as a female driver, but then they weren't sure. So again, we have what we know is we have possibly just only one person in this vehicle. We are on Alhambra Avenue following this pursuit, only about 30 miles per hour. The more we fly in the same area, this is what we see. We see people kind of cheering that driver on or so forth, saying things. Hopefully some of them are saying, pull over safely and just end the pursuit. You know, we hope something of that nature, and so does law enforcement officers. But this is why they're in a tracking mode, folks. They don't want to see this vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed on these surface streets. You're going to have some people coming out now and waving to this driver and maybe wanting to get involved. We just saw one person get out of their vehicle, fist bump that driver, talk to that person. And you know what? If law enforcement officers have the ground units available, they may stop that driver and talk to that person who gave that fist bump and try to find out whether or not they know who that person. What's the relation? Were you just taking an opportunity to be a part of this, or do you know this person or anything? Those are questions that all law enforcement officers probably want to have answered. Hold on. Okay. Okay, Michael, I'm back with you. Okay, I'm ready, guys. Hey, Booth, I'm ready. I got more information now. Hey, guys, I got more information. Hey, Booth, I got more information. Roger. It has to do with the people following him. Her. We probably have Hollister Avenue. Here's the deal, Michael. Again, a lot of times we talk about what we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We just found out some more information. Law enforcement officers passing it along. They know who the driver is. The driver is a female. The driver does suffer from mental illness. We don't want to exactly say what the driver is suffering from. Family members have called law enforcement officers, so the person has been identified. The people who are following this vehicle, at least some of them, are relatives of the driver, trying to get the driver to pull over safely. Now, not everybody's relatives. At times, there are some people who are just getting involved. Law enforcement officers have asked those family members not to follow, but they're concerned for the safety of their loved one. And again, Michael, we talked about this again. The mental state, is this person under the influence of some type of substance? We understand this person is on medication. Could that be altering this person's perception? Possibly, but again, with this person being confirmed suffering with some type of mental illness, it really is going to change the situation, how officers want to handle the situation. Although moving to the right, to the right, to the right, you're on the right. Thank you. get that tree out of my way. Thank you. Yep. Can we get around that tree, please? Yeah, I guess that just happened. And again, now I'm kind of wondering, since this driver continues to be driving in the area that she is familiar with, most likely these are family members, and that's why we're starting to see some of the same vehicles. And when they find an opportunity, they actually run up to the driver, most likely trying to get her to safely stop. And again, that's a situation right now. And, you know, when you're dealing with somebody who may be suffering with some type of mental illness, that really creates a different situation, more of a delicate situation, whereas they would normally handle the situation. You know, these people appear to know the driver and having some type of conversation. So right now, that's the latest information that we have, is that family members appear to be following this person and trying to get her to pull over. But apparently, she doesn't want to right now, and now she's starting to drive a little more erratically here, coming up on some residential streets here, not too far from Alhambra. No, not right now. Speeding down Templeton about 44 miles per hour, coming up on this intersection here, just running through a stop sign here. So it's starting to get a little dangerous. I would see if these people are still behind. They're still following her. So, you know, law enforcement officers, they've asked these family members to pull off. But right now, coming up on this area right here, hopefully the driver will make the right decision here. Coming out to a family member, hopefully, and bring this pursuit to an end, unless if we get into this Mini Cooper. But obviously, I would assume that they do know each other, and hopefully they can get this person to surrender peacefully and not drive away. Well, if we're going to drive away, that's going to be a different situation. Okay, so this is a new one. So now we have the person who's being pursued by law enforcement officers hopped into this vehicle. So hopefully now law enforcement officers will be able to pull up to this vehicle and pull this vehicle over. But most likely this is a family member, and obviously they're concerned about their loved ones, so they want to make sure this person is safe, and hopefully they'll drive this person to the police department or pull over when they're summoned to by law enforcement officials. Yeah, we're coming up on a street here where I've just lost the vehicle because of the angle that we're at. Hopefully we'll be able to pick it up here shortly. But again, hopefully, let me backtrack here. This happens sometimes in these neighborhoods. There it is. Okay, so hopefully, again, where's this driver going? I have a feeling that this person is in contact with law enforcement. I don't think they're going to evade from law enforcement officers. Since family members were contacting law enforcement officers, and again, talking to dispatchers, they do a great job behind the scenes relaying all that information to law enforcement officers on the scene. Most likely it's already been coordinated, and again, I'm speculating, but we haven't seen this before, but based on the information that we're getting, very well could be heading to a secure area where they can meet law enforcement officials or bring this person back to a residential area where officers may already be waiting. Yeah, yeah, and I'm actually waiting for the ground units to take over because I really don't think that this driver is going to evade law enforcement officers. I think their concern, as we were saying this from the get-go, is that the mental stability of a person is always needs to be addressed. So if this person is suffering from some type of mental illness, which turns out to possibly be the case according to family members, it's more of a delicate situation, and that's why probably family members just got involved. Yes, and I'm still trying to get official word. I'm still listening, whether or not it's already been coordinated as to what they're going to do. Police car is behind, according to my pilot. So here we go. This is the moment right here. I believe that's an LAPD unit. If LAPD unit initiates a traffic stop to pull this person over. Yeah, I'm listening to LAPD right now. So LAPD officers are going to attempt to pull this vehicle over, and hopefully this person will comply and pull over. But again, this is something I have never seen in a pursuit right now. Family members getting one to, and we're assuming family members. Again, dispatchers have been in contact with family members of the driver, and right now the driver is in that white Mini Cooper. LAPD, that's Hollenbach Division, right behind that vehicle. And let's see what happens when they initiate the traffic stop. They do have their lights and sirens on. Exactly. Yeah, we did see that earlier. We're on Warwick Street, LAPD. They got one unit right now talking to that a driver. We've got some more units pulling up. One family member got out, and again, we're assuming it's family members, but you can see the driver of the Mini Cooper complying. Hopefully, I can assure you, one of the things they want that driver to do is take the keys out of the vehicle. They want to make sure that that passenger, who is the original driver from the first pursuit that we were covering, doesn't drive away in this minivan. But it appears that the driver of the minivan, Mini Cooper rather, is complying, and most likely, again, they're going to handle this a little more delicately than what we normally see. If somebody is suffering from mental illness, officers want to use extreme caution, and they want to be a little more delicate. They have two females right now. One's proned out, and then they also have this person here. That was a passenger here. So we have three people proned out, most likely family members. They're concerned for their loved one, and LAPD officers are soon going to try to take the passenger, who is the original driver from the pursuit we've been covering since about 9:30 this morning. I can't see right now, but you would hope that the driver who got out of this Mini Cooper did do that. It looks like we do have somebody else on the other side right now. So the I think my pilot's moving me around here, so we might get the other side here. But again, you could just see some slow movement here. Hands are out, so most likely those keys are going to be tossed. So I don't think this car is going to drive away. We're just going to try to get you a little clear shot here and get that tree out of our way. Can you get that tree out of my way, please? Way to get a chance. Hey, Aldo. Aldo? Okay. Thank you. Nice and easy. Don't get upset. Nice and easy. You're doing great. Thank you. Cut your turn. Cut your turn now. Now we're a little worse. Aldo, look at the shot that you're giving me. I just needed you to move a little. So give me that shot. We're missing it, please. We need that van, please. Yeah, for quite some time we just lost that vehicle here trying to maneuver around that tree. But I haven't, based on where the officers are, we still have the driver of the minivan in the passenger seats of this vehicle. So I did see a couple of people already exit the vehicle. They have since gone back towards the officers over there. So apparently we still, I'm still trying to monitor here, but we still have at least one person in this van who is the driver from the pursuit that we've been covering here from the East Chopper 4 Alpha. Again, the white minivan that was being pursued, an alleged stolen vehicle. The driver did get out and get into this white Mini Cooper. We believe those are family members who assisted with that. They pulled over. We're on the 2900 block of Warwick Avenue here near the Alhambra area, just waiting to see what happens here. Yeah, I'm curious how officers are going to handle this as well. Looks like they're just going to approach the vehicle right here. They do have their guns drawn, but they want to get that driver out who may be in the passenger seat. I don't know if the driver shifted over to the driver's seat. So they are opening the door now, and they're going to pull this person out. We can tell, yep, there's the blue Dodger hat. So that is the original person who actually shifted over into the driver's side of the vehicle. Fortunately, there may not have been keys left in the vehicle. Otherwise, we could have had a different situation. But I'm happy to say right now it was a very delicate situation with family members concerned about the mental stability. They intervened in this pursuit, got the person to get in their car, and then when they were summoned to pull over by law enforcement officers, they did so. One of the unusual ones that we have seen, Michael, but we're so happy to tell you that this pursuit finally has come to an end off of the 2900 block of Warwick Avenue. The person is in custody right now, and the best thing to report, we don't have any injuries to report. Exactly. But the good news is that officers were patient. That's why they went into a tracking mode, public safety #1 concern, and that's the reason why they did that. Nobody got hurt in this pursuit, and now they're going to bring the proper resources to assist with this person. Can you push me in? Can you go forward? Yeah, we're going to try to go forward just a little here, but as we're pushing our way in, we do have some other helicopters. That is the driver. They frisking the driver. They got a female officer frisking the driver. That's a standard procedure. If it's a female, they'll have a female do the frisking. That's a cursory search, pretty much making sure there's no weapons or any narcotics or any substance on that driver before they put her in the vehicle. And she's going to take a trip down to county jail, where she will get, no doubt, the help that she needs. Absolutely, and that's very important. It made it a lot easier for officers. It really escalates the situation when they start getting very agitated. But for most of this pursuit, even though we saw some dangerous speeds, for the most part, the driver did not seem to be agitated. I hate using the word, but quite joyful at times, just waving to people and enjoying the time. But fortunately, during that time, there were no injuries, despite running some red lights and driving on the wrong side of the road. Family members did a great job intervening, contacting law enforcement officers. Dispatchers were relaying that vital information to the LAPD as well as Alhambra PD units, making sure that they were fully aware of the situation. And this is how we like to see it, a police pursuit coming to a safe end. I think probably with the first question, that would be a possible assault, I believe. I don't know if they would really go with that charge. Again, sometimes just the mental stability of a person. Nobody got injured. Was it intentional or was it just an accident? That really depends on the watch commander. The second question to answer, the family members interviewed